mad bhakto mad yaji mam namaskuru. So Krishna came 5,000 years ago, and previously so many avatars of Krishna have come. In the form of Krishna, he taught the Bhagavad Gita, doing all the teachings. And the essence is that Manmana Bhava Madhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. So people were following, still we see in India. It's very nice. The other day, how many were you? 8 or 10? 11 people, 11 devotees went to Yadgiri Gutta. Because there are a lot of people there, because it was a holiday. Yadgiri Gutta is, you may not know even, but I found a book many years ago in Telugu Desh, Andhra Pradesh and now Telangana. There are many, many Swayam Vyakta Nishinga temples, not only Ahobilam and Yadgiri Gutta. If I remember correctly, it was approximately 200. Even in Hyderabad there is one, near Mohan's in-laws' house. I forget the name. Big rock and a crevice. So we say, well, maybe this is no, a long time ago there were many people of very pure consciousness. So if they maybe that fan could be also reduced a little, make a lot of yawas. It's okay. Is this one making noise? It's all right. Of course, a great devotee, he sees Krishna everywhere. You don't have to go travel even 50 miles. Because Krishna says, Anda tarasta paramanu tarasta cha. I'm in the universe, I'm also in the atom. The atom is like a miniature, according to modern science, like a miniature universe. So Krishna is in the atom universe as well as in the big universe. Unfortunately, most of the physicists who study the atom, they don't see Krishna. One or two are there, actually. So people could go to some lonely place and they would see Nrsimhadev or other form of Krishna. And it was not imagination. Krishna came to them, and then in those days, if he told some government officer, then the king said, oh, then we'll build a temple. And that way, in olden days, most of all the big temples, they were built by the kings, by the government at that time. Tirupati, all the temples, isn't it? Because the kings were pious. In Tamil Nadu, what is the name of the dynasty? The Pallavas and the other Cholas. They built so many temples. Of course, they had some of them were not so pure. They gave Ramanujacharya trouble, isn't it? And he fled. He fled to
Shaivites. They were Shaivites.
Shiva followers.
Shaivites.
Followers of Shiva.
They gave trouble to Rama.
Yes. So Ramanujacharya fled from what is now Madras area to
Srirangam.
No. Melkote, yes. So there's a mixture of politics, spiritual qualification and politics were mixed. And still that's there a little bit. I read that why this Yadgiri Gutta, why the government is spending so many crores of rupees. Because formerly, before Telangana was separated from Andhra Pradesh, the chief minister was in Hyderabad and Tirupati was under him. And then they divided the state, so he felt very bad that now, this is actual, I read, motivation, why they're spending so many crores. So he decided that we'll make another Tirupati in Telangana, and this is Yadgiri Gutta. I've seen the pictures, it looks just like Tirupati. The last time I was there was nothing. Once I went there, under construction. So construction was beginning. Now it's advanced. So the point is that people are still there, many thousands, lakhs of people who still have that religious habit. They go to temples. If there's a holiday, even a civic holiday, they'll use the time to go to a temple. In the West, they will go drink beer or go to look at a mountain or something like that. In India, people still, if they have time, they'll go to a temple. But unfortunately, due to advance of materialism, Krishna gives instruction. When you go to a temple, what do you do? Madhyaji mam namaskuru. Bow down and offer service. But now that people don't bow down anymore. They stand there and go like this, or some nonsense like this, self-punishment. I don't know what they're thinking. I've sinned, so let me have some pain. And they pull themselves down. No, Krishna says, Namaskuru. So I was very happy to hear that when you went to Yadgiri Gutta, after having darshan, you did proper pranam. And people watching and following and hearing, they followed your example. That's very good. So you're actually purifying the holy place. Yes. Because all the holy places are now all polluted. And people go there to collect money, and so it's very good what you have done. Besides chanting, I saw a video, even one Rama was standing there, and a 1-year-old baby was crawling. They were doing kirtan, the baby was crawling, wanted to take part. Then he picked the baby up. And other small children, I was told, they took part, and people were clapping and chanting. So that's very nice, very good. I think next time we have to print some visiting cards, and people took books. That's perhaps the most significant thing. Over 50 books were distributed. People gave money for books. It was very nice. And even tonight, the same thing. You're doing kirtan. You went to a temple? No? Yes? No?
Both the temples.
Huh?
Both the temples.
Both. Which?
One is this Raghavedranagar, Krishna, and then there is another Balaji temple.
So I think a dozen books were sold.
Five.
No? He sold 6 and he sold 5. Total 11.
Sold 5, I sold 1.
Oh, only one? Oh, but more money. Okay. But even that's very good. Even one book. No, I see. So this is actually what Krishna wants, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted and what Prabhupada wanted. Simply do kirtan, distribute books. Prabhupada once said, it's very simple, but Prabhupada once said, Krishna consciousness is simple for the simple and is difficult for those who are not simple. Simplicity, Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada said, Sarala hiye Vaishnava. The characteristic of a Vaishnava is simplicity.
Those who are simple, for them is simple. Those who are complicated, for them is
Yes. But moreover, no, specifically he says that this quality of simplicity, that is the essential aspect of a devotee. Unfortunately, we see, and I have seen history of a movement started by Prabhupada, sometimes they're devotees, they're called devotees because they're chanting, but they get some position, and because they're not actually simple, they spoil things. And they say, well, we want to build a big temple, we need $10 million. Who said? Gradually, but they're ambitious. They want to build a big temple, and they want to be in charge. They don't want to build a temple and then hand over. You see? I built many rats, and then it's finished, and they do Rath Yatra, and I leave. Go to another. Many. What if I had tried to claim the Rath? It's my Rath, I built it. I collected also. I used to collect steel and things because I didn't like to go in the office. There's so much, those who are involved with money, they spend their too much time in the office planning. So I didn't like to go there to ask for money. We need half a ton of steel, so much nuts and bolts or something. I would go and collect myself. I must have said something wrong, now I can't think. Is this self-praise? No, credit where credit is due. I should put Rasananda, print a card. Rasananda Das Bramachari built so many rots, collected so many tons of steel, so many packages of screws and nails and paint and brushes and on the back of the card. because the temple president, they say so-and-so Das Adhikari, and then underneath vice president this, president of this, all they think that this is their credit. They did something, but because of ambition, it's not running, it's not pure. So they're just after praise. They're after fame. Kam, Labh, Pratishta. This is the downfall of many Krishna conscious yogis and other religions also, same thing. In Srimad Bhagavatam, in the first canto, there's a verse. It says, Kam, Labh, Pratishta, I forget whether in English, the desire for fame, adoration, and distinction, profit, adoration, and distinction. Kam, Labh, and Pratishta. Puja, Labh, Pratishta. Kam is there also. You look it up. That these are corollaries. In the first printing of Bhagavatam, the word corollary means another form. See, like, this is another form of sex desire. So this is a big problem. It's not new. I read that a long time ago in Jagannath Puri, there were different kings from different parts of what is now Orissa, and they wanted to sit on the Rath, and they would have like a lot of tension. Who will sit on the Rath? Maybe even some war resulted. And they are concerned, who is this dog coming? It is my street. Their whole philosophy. So now they are not the leaders of the world. They are thinking. There's the G11, G8, G11, G20, NATO. What is now Russia, Brazil, India, China. What is that? BRICS. Now even some Arabian countries want to join BRICS. They are thinking that I will be admired. I have organized this. Aham Bogi, Aham Ishwar. Even Mr. Modi, so many people are praising him. To some extent, he certainly has some pious aspects to his nature. To a certain extent, he deserves some praise. But so also Mr. Gandhi. But he was not a saint. He was a good man, but not a saint. But people start calling him Mahatma. Mahatma means saint, devotee. So although he is a very good man, charitable, advocating charity and concern for the poor and so on, for the ordinary man, Similarly, Mr. Modi, but they're not saints. And people don't know what is saint anymore. Even there, I read that now the media in the Western world have become so intoxicated, so powerful, supporting Mr. what is his name, Biden or Biden, and they are blaspheming. They're blaspheming some Christian holiday. They're blaspheming. And the Russians, there's one, I subscribe to it actually, Russian Christian, I forget the name of the website. They are actually more religious, Russian Christians. Americans are leaving America, going to live in Russia to practice Christianity. They can't do it in America anymore. It's so materialistic, so degraded. What about the Hare Krishna movement in Seattle? How is it doing? And most of the members are from India, isn't it? And for them they're not, I hear they don't, in the beginning of the movement, when there was some purity, the focus was on Nagar Kirtan and book distribution and preaching. And preaching means we're not the body, Krishna is the supreme, the material world is temporary. But I think that kind of preaching is now hidden, isn't it? Preaching consists of, next week is a big festival, everybody come and give a donation here. So they're having big festivals, a lot of money, but the purity is hard to find. Am I wrong? So, and purity is the force. Prabhupada said, ISKCON had a motto. He said, here's the motto for, I don't know if he said like this, but he said, preaching is the essence, books are the basis, utility is the principle, and purity is the force. People don't know that anymore. And even if they quote it, I've seen it quoted in the wrong order. They're talking about purity. Purity means to repeat what the acharyas have said, as they have said it, not to change the order. Like in Punjab they say, Peli kana kao, fir mandir jao. So you go to mandir and take prasadam, that's all right. But the sequence is the opposite. So somebody has quoted the motto, they quoted it in the wrong order. But where is the purity? Purity is the force. So I'm not great. I don't think any of you think you're great. But you see, we're getting some nice results because we're following purely Prabhupada's instruction. Chant Hare Krishna, take prasad, distribute my books. Doing it. Very nice. More people should join us, and we could have, if we have 100 people, every holiday, 10 people go to each of 10 big temples, Balaji and Yadgiri Gupta and Birla Mandir. I think this is too loud. And many people will get benefit. Do you upload some of those videos to YouTube maybe? Already done?
Yes, not any code.
He will do. He has not come tonight. Are you recording what I'm saying? But no video. And I combed my hair. I keep short hair because I have to. If I let my hair grow, it itches like anything. So, because I used to keep short hair like this even before this started. It's due to age or due to bad liver. It's itching more and more. And I found a solution. Futkari, coconut oil, and aloe vera gel. The doctors, they prescribe tiny little tube, 70 rupees. 3 or 5 grams. Didn't work. 2 doctors did the same thing. But this I developed, and it works. But still, I'll keep short hair. You see old pictures. Some of the devotees had sika down to here. That means they had hair down to here. They cut their hair. There's a picture in the kitchen, it shows. It's a very nice picture. Everybody seen that picture? It's there for years and he's going to see it now. Huh? It shows Sankirtan somewhere, San Francisco. Meena Katan is playing a madranga, and his sika is coming down to here. So maybe because of, for whatever reason, I've spoken very, as you say, informally. But with references. It's not we're not impersonalist yogis who you have to sit like this and you don't speak anything. Mona Baba. We're not Mona Babas. Any comments or questions? Very good to anybody who was asking where you're from or who are you. It's not important. The fact that they followed you, they're doing kirtan and they're offering obeisances means they accept that these are real people, practitioners of Dharma. They're real. What is that verse? Dharma projita koitavatra nirmatsaranam satam. I don't remember the second part. I think it means that Dharma koitava projita, that means false religion is automatically kicked out by practicing this proper process without separate endeavor. So this is very, very important. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, he was such a powerful speaker that I told how in those days in Calcutta, and many sadhus, when they saw him coming, they ran across the other side of the road. They shouldn't have to see, you shouldn't see them. Like it's called Shringa Guru, he's like a lion. When anybody, a small animal sees a lion, he can die of a heart attack, isn't it? So he was, just by his glance, he would defeat them. We are not so powerful, but it's good to remember the standard, that power comes from purity. Purity is the force. Power and force. So Prabhupada said purity is the force. By our purity, even we may be whatever we are, but we can defeat bogus practitioners of religion just by our glance. I think we went to that, where is he? Raghavedranagar and his wife were there next door. They brought one sannyasi from Srirangam. Mayavadi. He was just making a show of speaking Sanskrit, and he was not happy to see when I was being introduced to him. He said something that, oh, let them chant Hare Krishna somewhere out of my sight. He was not. So he is a sannyasi, but he is opposed to the Yuga Dharma. What kind of sannyasi is that? Prabhupada said that our householders, even our children, some of them are better than sannyas. Never. For some reason he appointed some sannyasis, but the result has not been good overall. Many not able to follow the sannyas vows. A sannyasi, brahmachari, has to take bath once a day. Vyasa twice a day, is it? And the sannyasi has to take bath 3 times a day. So, for various reasons, I'm now taking twice a day. Not because I'm still in brahmachari vesh, but for health reasons. It's good. called sadachar, daily practice. I've learned so many, from a medical point of view, excellent points from Prabhupada and from Bhaktivedanta, especially, maybe Bhaktivedanta also, and others. So many good practices. Should not sleep after the sunrise. This morning I saw the next house, the sun was already shining this angle, it must be 9 o'clock, and they were still sleeping on the terrace with this tent. I was amazed how you can sleep. There was a hot sun and they were still sleeping. That's okay, answer it. Let's see, is that, who is it? Huh? Oh, excuse me. Video call. It's your brother. That's why. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, how are you?
There's your sister, you see, and your niece, and your brother-in-law, and so many of our friends. Huh? You can see?
Right, I can see. I will call you later.
It's okay. You have darshan. You can show him my deity also. Somebody, no. Modern technology, you see, can be used. You see, we're using internet and mobile phone. Prabhupada was the first one. He would talk about, in India there are some swamis who they will not go by airplane. In Gujarat there's some Jain sadhus. They only walk. So just like this Swami said, let them chant Hare Krishna somewhere, not bother me. So Prabhupada said, let them walk, I'll fly. My disciples, his disciples were buying him air tickets. So otherwise the movement would not have developed or grown. Prabhupada went around the world at age 70 plus, 17 times around the world. North America, South America, Australia. Have I told a story about Prabhupada was once flying in South America and it was time for prasad, so they brought his tray and the containers and served prasad, and Prabhupada ate. Have I told this story? To some of you. It's a very nice story. The stewardess, she was looking all the time, looking at Prabhupada. from the front. So when Prabhupada was finished, his servant took away the tray. So she came, and he was eating muria, puffed rice. She grabbed a handful and popped it like this stewardess. That means it was Vedic culture. She knew this is a Mahatma, and I'm taking his prasad. Somehow she knew. And then years later, one brahmachari was going door to door in one town in South America, I forget which country, and he came to one house, and that lady was living there. She opened the door. And in her house she had a full altar, Krishna conscious, all of Prabhupada's books. He was practicing. It's stewardess. You see? Nice, interesting story. I was once traveling on the train, second class, I don't remember, maybe Hyderabad to Delhi or something, and I was sitting by the window and 5 other seats with one family. So it came a certain time, and they brought out stainless steel debbas and plates, 6 plates. They put one on my lap also, and just served everybody. I didn't speak to them anything, and they were speaking. I didn't know any Hindi at the time. Maybe they just, that is Vedic culture. Maybe they didn't know who I was. Maybe they didn't think I'm a sadhu. Maybe they thought I'm some foreign Sudra or something. But even if you give food to a Sudra, that's very good. If somebody is working in your house.
Were you in saffron robes?
Huh?
Were you in saffron robes then?
I was wearing, yes.
So India, they will feed anyone in saffron.
Yeah. I read recently that if you have somebody working in your house, carpentry or painting or something, Sudra work, and when it comes time for meals, if you supply them meals without, saying that this is 50 rupees, you just give them meals, that's equivalent to serving Krishna directly. Krishna accepts directly. It's a very important practical point. Somebody will say, well, I build so many things, there's also Sudra work. But no, just for point of information, if Sudra just works, he doesn't do design. Design work, that's Stapatiya Karan. Stapati. Stapati is a Brahmin. The mystery might be Sudra, but the Stapati is Brahmin. I don't think you're bothered by this, but I have met devotees that they taught that I was talking to Rasananda, I have to go take a bath now. Jump in the river. One famous devotee, I told him, You come and help. Get your hands dirty, don't worry. There's no.
Some special characters.
Huh?
Some special characters could be there too. They are all like special characters.
Special?
Characters.
Who?
The one you just quoted.
No, he's not an Indian, so he's not questioning, but he's a Westerner with caste consciousness.
That's great.
Not only Indians. And there's elitism also among Western devotees. There's like also false caste consciousness. They're not even following Varnashram, but because they have money, they think that they're superior. This caste, kind of casteism, caste consciousness, that is there. Well, Prabhupada, he would, when a child came, while he's giving class, a child comes and sits down on his lap. He didn't chase him away. And the mother comes, oh, Prabhupada, sorry, no, sorry.
So sweet. So sweet of them.
The Prabhupada didn't see that because you're a sannyasi, you're more important. And he told actually some of his grihasthas, you are more than sannyasi, because they were doing so much service. Sometimes he gave sannyas just to keep people out of trouble. The designer of the Hyderabad, of the Vrindavan temple and the Bombay temple, his name was Surabi. Then Prabhupada gave him sannyas. So he was called Surabi Abhi Palyantam Swami. So I asked him, why did Prabhupada give you sannyas? So he was doing architecture. It seems his wife was very materialistic. So to keep her away from him, he gave him sannyas.
Is this the same devotee who designed the temple?
Yes.
The Vrindavan temple?
Bombay and Vrindavan. Very great architect.
Now also people when they go to Ispan Vrindavan, right? People come from like across the places now. Not just devotees, right? Delhi especially. So as soon as they enter, of course they take pictures of the arch, Prabhupada's Mari.
Oh. And Bombay also is fantastic. Yes. Yeah, and the devotees don't know because if you look at the official statements, the Bombay temple is designed by one Mr. Gupta. The reason is that in order to be design buildings that will be approved by the government, you have to be an Indian citizen. So Surabi was not an Indian citizen, so they found some Gupta, and he signed all the documents, all the drawings. In Bombay, they don't even know this. So this, I don't know, but this is supposed to be a class or a Pravachan. It's Pravachan. It's nice. It's not very formal. I'll stop. Any questions? or comments? You can all hear me? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.